Hello, hello, and welcome back to another edition of the NCCR podcast. My name is DeVandis Smith. Alongside me is
Kim Matson.
how you doing, Miss Kim?
I'm doing well. I got a little frog in my throat, so
Frog.
pardon me in advance if I have to, go into a coughing jag. Let me clear my throat.
Great mind think alike. All right, Kim.
Fun and scary at the same time.
I know, right? I know. How was your weekend?
It was great. Yeah, I was on an outing with some dear friends, and we had a really good time.
Well, we had a good time also. We had kids. Lots of kids. Kids.
Hundreds and hundreds of them.
More kids.
They just kept coming.
Yes. Kept coming.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
Like that lady that had all those raccoons in her front yard.
Yeah. And
you just open the door, and it's like, wow, that is a lot of people out there. Mm-hmm.
And we love you, kids. We love you.
That's awesome. I heard it was a great day.
It was a great day.
Mm-hmm.
We was kidding with Pastor Ryan. We was like, hey, man, we're just going to have you start praying. Because 2 years in a row, he prayed for no rain. Hey.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
Dodged
all right, hit that like button, that thumbs up button, subscribe, so you can stay abreast of the latest.
In the know.
Kim, someone came up to me this Saturday, and one of our regular viewing member, he was at I forgot where he said he was at, but he was playing the podcast, and we was signing off. And they were like, hey, what's that? He's like, oh, it's a team that does the recap of the sermon. They got a podcast and stuff because we close out with our
Space
famous
Ghost.
Space Ghost. And so, hey, ding,
yeah,
that tag.
If that kind of piques your interest, then well done, Space Ghost.
Yes. All right, Kim. Pastor Steve continuing on the guardrail series, and this time the sermon function as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Here are a couple of scriptures for you who didn't see it online. Here they are. 1 Corinthians 12 and 13. Romans 12, 4 through 5. Ephesians 4 and 3. Philippians 2. 1 Peter 3 and 8. John 17, 20 through 23. And Matthew 18 and 18. So as you can guess where this podcast is going down, the road that we're going down is teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Makes the dream work.
Yeah. So, I was going to go more with an ebony and ivory theme, but kind of the same vibe.
Yeah.
If you know that song. It's got a good lyric.
Ebony and ivory.
I'm that one.
We're together
in perfect
harmony, side by side on her piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? Okay.
You're welcome. Michael. You're welcome for that. Yes. You're welcome that we stopped, actually.
Molly, do not.
Don't call us.
Don't call us.
We just work alone. Yes, together alone.
Yes. Kim, do you like being a part of a team?
I typically do.
Why is that?
Well, busy hands working toward the same thing, minds, whatever. You can get a lot accomplished when you're on a team that is clicking on all cylinders.
Clicking. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Clicking on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have a team that is not?
That's way less enjoyable.
Yeah. Don't want to be a part of that. So, Pastor Steve, in his message, he was guiding down, like I said, all the scripture he referenced was pointing us down that road of being a good teammate. And so, like Kim, we were just saying, teamwork makes the dream work.
Mm-hmm.
If the disciples wasn't a good team, I don't think the gospel would have got out.
I agree. I think that the the alignment with purpose
Yes.
Is critical. And if we don't all understand the assignment or we have a different perspective on what we think that end goal is, then we can kind of really put a monkey wrench in and all that stuff.
And that goes to a dysfunctional team. If you have
Correct.
any type of dysfunction, it's going to cause confusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hinder the progress and set the team back.
Yeah, because if you're in a team meeting and you all get the same agenda and then somewhere down the road somebody tweaks it because that person feels like there wasn't buy-in perhaps.
Oh, okay.
Then all of a sudden you've got part of your team is doing that thing and everybody else is doing this thing. And I mean, I hate to throw Boeing under the bus, but somebody was supposed to screw those bolts in. You know what I'm saying? That's a team that didn't follow the playbook, if you will.
Interesting that you said playbook.
Right? See how that happens?
Because I'm thinking of the disciples, right? If Peter thought he was more than John or Mark, that it could have set off that dysfunction. Well, I'm better than you because he said, I am the rock. He didn't say you were the rock.
Correct.
You're like, I am the rock. So, hey, I am more important than you are. And, you know, it's funny. I just thought about this here. When the disciple was sitting beside him at a meal, they're like, which one of us would be sitting on your left or right side in the kingdom?
Heaven.
Yeah, right? He's like, hey. Jesus was like,
calm down.
Matrix.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm going to dodge that. Hey, it's not my place. That's the Father in heaven's place. And, you know, but that could have set off dysfunction. If Jesus was like, hey, you know, just saying. If he would have said, okay, John, yes, you can be on my left. Then the other 11 disciples, well, what about me? You know, and that's that dysfunction, and we know that God is not the author of confusion.
Well, I was just going to read of those Bible passages, 1 Corinthians 12 and 13. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, Jews, Greeks, slaves, free. We are all made to drink of one Spirit.
One body?
Just the one.
So we should be working in unity, in harmony.
Like we're one body.
Like we're one body.
Yeah.
And the arm is not better than the leg.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So why do we have this problem then?
It sounds like a universal problem. Getting on the same. I think we forget who the coach is and that each player has a role. I mean, each teammate has a role. Like we talked about a week or two ago. It's fine if you're the quarterback, but if you don't have somebody to throw it to, then that leaves a very specific way that you're going to score, if you will. If you don't have an equipment manager, you're going to get the crud beat out of you out on the field. If you don't have, you know, so everybody has. I mean, if you really want to break it down to a football game, everybody counts and everybody's important, because without each of those entities, it's not happening.
And you know, and I'm gonna use the military concept of it. When we launch a bomber or we launch a fighter, everyone see that aircraft, but they don't realize the teamwork that it took
underneath
to get that.
It's just
yeah. The teamwork to get that plane in the air.
But I think people get caught up a little bit on what the end result is, or the bright shiny thing is, and without understanding the underlying efforts that many people contribute to, and maybe we ought to start thinking a little bit about how that end result, that bright shiny thing, actually happened, because it doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? I mean, that didn't just appear.
Yes.
Somebody worked diligently, maybe in small ways, maybe in big ways, but still put what they could into it to make a thing happen.
What do you think about people, I'm going to say the complainers, the doubters, the whiners? What do you think about those people?
Mm.
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 Show me your care face.
Mm.
Show me your I don't care face. Oh, okay.
I find, I mean, I've done that occasionally because typically I think for me it's because the game plan isn't being followed, right? It's like, well, who decided we're doing that now? I've said that many times in many ways, in places, in different, situations. So that confuses me, and it kind of irritates me because I thought we already had a plan, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? It's like, well, weren't we just doing that green thing? Where did the blue thing come from?
But the point was though, Kim, I heard the point there. You had a playbook, then someone deviate from the playbook.
Correct.
Right? And that caused confusion. Right?
Yep.
Everything, that Pastor Steve talked about brings back to doing teamwork and lining up. And he said this that I thought was very, very it hit home. No one who is doing more than you criticize you. It's those that does less. So the one that's not putting in the work or not trying to help, those are your biggest critics.
Well, there you go. Mystery solved.
Mic drop moment right there. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That hit different. I was like, Yep.
I think there's a lot of ways to get that point across I think I've been in groups of people where that has been a thing. You didn't show up to the last 3 meetings. Why are you trying to have input? I would say the bulk of that was when I was the PTA president in elementary school, and people all of a sudden didn't understand what was happening. Like, well, we've been talking about it for 3 months now.
Get involved. Yes.
Perhaps now you're part of the problem and not the fix. Just a suggestion.
I think to sum it all up, we have the playbook.
We do.
We have the playbook.
Yes.
We just need to put our egos, leave them at the door, and follow the playbook. If we can follow the playbook, love one another, humble ourselves, put God first.
Well, if you're doing it for your edification, your glory, you shouldn't even be on the team, right? Just don't even join.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. I mean, you have to understand why you're signing up for something, right? It's not to say, "Hey, look what I just did," but to unify, glorify all the fives to somebody else's better good, right? You can't go into a thing thinking you will naturally get something out of it because you're doing God's work.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not, you shouldn't go for bonus points.
And that's the point, trying to get the bonus point. Because you have some people that would secretly want you to fail so they could come in and rescue it and say, I did it. See what I did? They needed me to be on that team. Because I'm the man, I'm the woman.
I'm that person.
All right, Kim, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
I know you got some questions.
I do.
Give me a good one.
At what point can a teammate become an adversary?
Ooh, Kim. At what point can a teammate become an adversary? Wow. That's a good one, folks. Let that marinate. Let that marinate. So until then, as we always do, when we end the show, we are out.